The vast emptiness of space suddenly came alive with a burst of light. A sleek metallic ship emerged from hyperspace, its hull gleaming under the distant starlight. This was no ordinary vessel. It bore the insignia of the Galactic Empire's elite scout force. Captain Zorn, a seasoned explorer with scales instead of skin, stood tall on the bridge. His yellow eyes narrowed as he gazed at the blue-green planet before him. "Earth," he muttered, his forked tongue flicking out in anticipation. For centuries, the Empire had dismissed Earth as a primitive world, unworthy of their attention. But recent energy readings had piqued their interest. Now, Zorn and his crew were here to investigate. "Commence scan," Zorn ordered, his clawed hand waving at the control panel. The ship's advanced sensors swept over the planet's surface, penetrating deep into its oceans and through its atmosphere. At first, everything seemed normal. Cities buzzed with activity, oceans teemed with life, and the planet's magnetic field pulsed steadily. But then something strange caught the eye of Lyra, the young technician manning the scanner. "Captain," she called out, her antenna twitching nervously. "I'm detecting an anomaly in the planet's northern polar region." Zorn slithered over to her station, peering at the readouts. His eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible," he hissed. Hidden beneath the icy surface of Earth's Arctic was a massive underground facility. Its energy signature matched nothing in the Empire's vast database. But that wasn't what shocked them the most. As they focused their scans, they detected something even more alarming. A fleet of ships, unlike anything they had ever seen before. These vessels were sleek, compact, and radiated an energy that defied their understanding of physics. "How many?" Zorn demanded, his voice tight with tension. Lyra's fingers flew over the controls. "At least 1,000, sir, maybe more." The bridge fell silent. 1,000 ships, a secret fleet that rivaled the size of many imperial armadas. And this was supposed to be a primitive world. Zorn's mind raced. How had Earth hidden this from them? The Empire prided itself on its intelligence network, its ability to monitor and control thousands of worlds. Yet somehow, this insignificant blue planet had managed to build a fleet right under their noses. "Sir," another crew member called out, "we're detecting similar facilities on other continents. They're everywhere." The implications were staggering. Earth wasn't just hiding a fleet. It had a global network of advanced technology that had somehow escaped the Empire's notice. Zorn made a quick decision. Prepare a report for High Command, encrypted with the highest security protocols, and set course back to Imperial space immediately. As the ship turned to leave, alarms suddenly blared across the bridge. Lyra shouted, "Captain, we're being scanned." On the main screen, a massive ship seemed to materialize out of nowhere. It dwarfed their scout vessel, its hull shimmering with an energy field they couldn't comprehend. "Evasive maneuvers," Zorn yelled, but it was too late. A beam of light shot out from the Earth ship, enveloping their vessel. For a moment, every system on board went dark. When power returned, Zorn realized with horror that they were being pulled towards the planet. As panic spread through the crew, a message crackled through their communication system. The voice was calm, almost friendly, but carried an unmistakable note of authority. "Greetings, visitors. Welcome to Earth. We've been expecting you." Zorn stared at the approaching planet, his mind reeling. The hunters had become the hunted, and he realized, with a sinking feeling in his scaled stomach, that the Galactic Empire was about to receive the shock of its existence. As their ship was guided towards Earth, one thing became crystal clear. The galaxy as they knew it was about to change forever. As Captain Zorn's ship was pulled towards Earth, the planet's hidden history began to unfold. This story of Earth's secret technological advancement had started decades ago, in a time when the world was still divided and struggling. Dr. Amelia Chen, a brilliant physicist, stood in her dimly lit lab, staring at a glowing orb of energy. It was 2030, and she had just made a breakthrough that would change everything. "It works," she whispered, her eyes wide with amazement. What Dr. Chen had created was a new form of clean, unlimited energy. But it was more than that. It was the key to unlocking the secrets of space travel and advanced technology. Across the world, in a high-tech facility hidden in the African savanna, another scientist was making his own breakthrough. Dr. Kwesi Okoro had developed an AI system so advanced it could solve problems that had puzzled humanity for centuries. As news of these discoveries spread in secret channels, world leaders faced a choice. They could announce these breakthroughs to the world and risk chaos, or they could keep them hidden and use them to prepare for a future they now knew was coming. In a closed-door meeting at the United Nations, representatives from every country gathered. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. "We have confirmation," the Secretary General announced, her voice grave. "We are not alone in the universe, and we are woefully unprepared." What followed was the most ambitious and secret project in human history. Operation Starshield was born. For the next 20 years, the best minds from every nation worked tirelessly. They built hidden facilities deep underground and beneath the oceans. They developed technologies that seemed like magic: gravity manipulation, faster than light travel, energy shields that could withstand the power of a sun. Dr. Chen led the energy research team. Her days and nights blurred together as she pushed the boundaries of physics. "We're not just building weapons," she often reminded her team. "We're building a future where humanity can stand tall among the stars." Dr. Okoro's AI systems became the brain of the operation. They designed ships that could outmaneuver anything the scientists could imagine. They created defense systems that could predict and counter attacks before they happened. But it wasn't just about technology. Humanity had to change too. In hidden camps around the world, a new generation of humans was being trained. They learned to pilot the advanced ships, to use technologies that seemed like superpowers, and to think on a galactic scale. Maria Gonzalez was one of these new humans. At just 18, she could fly a ship that could cross the solar system in minutes. "It's like becoming one with the universe," she said, her eyes shining with excitement after her first solo flight. As the years passed, Earth's secret fleet grew. Hidden bases on the Moon and Mars were established. Humanity spread through the solar system, all while maintaining the illusion of a primitive, divided world. But keeping such a massive secret wasn't easy. There were close calls. Like the time a curious teenager almost stumbled upon a hidden base in the Rockies, or when a routine satellite launch almost revealed a camouflaged shipyard in orbit. Each time, quick thinking and advanced technology kept the secret safe. The world went on, unaware of the incredible advancements happening right under their noses. Then came the day they had all been preparing for. Earth's long-range sensors, hidden in the Kuiper Belt, detected an approaching ship. It was time to reveal themselves to the galaxy. As the alien scout ship appeared in Earth's orbit, humanity was ready. With the push of a button, hidden facilities around the world sprang to life. The secret fleet, hidden for so long, rose from the oceans, emerged from mountain hideaways, and decloaked in orbit. Earth was no longer hiding. It was ready to take its place among the stars. As Captain Zorn's ship was pulled towards this newly revealed powerhouse, he had no idea that he was about to witness the fruits of decades of secret work. Earth was about to shock not just him, but the entire galactic empire. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy. The news of Earth's hidden fleet and advanced technology spread through the galactic empire like wildfire. In the grand halls of the Imperial Palace on the capital planet Zircon, chaos reigned. Emperor Vexthor, a towering figure with blue skin and 4 arms, sat on his crystal throne. His red eyes glowed with fury as he read the report from Captain Zorn's ship. "Impossible," he roared, crushing the datapad in one of his hands. The Emperor's advisors cowered before him. None dared speak until Grand Vizier Scylla stepped forward. "Your Majesty," she said, her voice calm despite the tension in the room, "we must act quickly." Vexthor turned his burning gaze on her. "Explain," he demanded. Scylla's holographic form flickered as she brought up a 3D map of the galaxy. Earth was supposed to be here, she said, pointing to a small, unremarkable dot. A primitive world of no consequence. But now, she waved her hand, and the map changed. Earth now glowed brightly, surrounded by a vast network of ships and stations. They'd been hiding in plain sight, Scylla continued. Our intelligence has failed us completely. The Emperor's anger turned to concern. How powerful are they? He asked. Scylla's expression was grim. Based on the energy readings from Captain Zorn's report, their technology might surpass our own in some areas. A collective gasp went through the room. The Empire had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. The idea that a single hidden world could challenge them was unthinkable. Emperor Vexthor stood, his decision made. Prepare the fleet, he commanded. We will crush this upstart world before they can threaten our rule. Alarms blared throughout the imperial capital. In shipyards across 1,000 worlds, massive battleships were readied for war. Soldiers were pulled from every corner of the empire, boarding transports bound for the front lines. Admiral Kraz, the empire's most decorated military leader, took command of the operation. In his war room aboard the flagship Eternal Might, he studied the plans for the assault on Earth. We'll hit them hard and fast, Kraz told his officers. Our numbers will overwhelm them before they can fully mobilize. But doubt nagged at the back of his mind. If Earth had managed to hide such power for so long, what other surprises might they have in store? As the Imperial fleet assembled, spies were sent ahead to gather more information. Most never returned. Those that did brought tales that seemed impossible to believe. Their ships move like nothing I've ever seen, one agent reported, his voice shaking. They appear and disappear at will. Our best stealth technology is useless against their sensors. Another spy claimed to have witnessed a test of Earth's weapons. They have devices that can redirect the energy of a star, she said. Entire planets could be vaporized in an instant. With each new report, the sense of panic in the Empire grew. Worlds that had known only peace for generations now feared annihilation. The Empire's own citizens began to question whether their leaders could protect them. Emperor Vexthor appeared in galaxy-wide broadcasts, trying to calm his people. The Empire has stood for 10 millennia, he declared. We will not fall to a single world of upstart primitives. But even as he spoke, the Emperor ordered the evacuation of key worlds near Earth's sector of space. Secret bunkers, hidden away since the early days of the Empire, were reopened and stocked with supplies. In the shipyards, production of new warships was increased tenfold. Ancient weapons, deemed too dangerous to use, were pulled from deep storage. The Empire was preparing for the fight of its life. As the massive armada prepared to depart for Earth, Admiral Kraz gave a final briefing to his fleet commanders. We face an unknown enemy with technology we don't fully understand, he said. But we are the Galactic Empire. Defeat is not an option. The ships of the Imperial fleet stretched out as far as the eye could see, their engines glowing as they prepared to jump to light speed. It was the largest military force ever assembled in the history of the galaxy. As Emperor Vexthor watched from his palace, he couldn't shake a feeling of dread. The Empire was about to go to war, and for the first time in 10,000 years, victory was not assured. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and the next move belonged to Earth. The vast emptiness of space crackled with energy as the Imperial fleet dropped out of light speed near Earth's solar system. Admiral Kraz stood on the bridge of the Eternal Might, his 4 eyes scanning the view screens intently. "Status report," he barked. His second-in-command, a tall, insectoid being named Zix, clicked her mandibles before responding. "No sign of Earth's fleet, Admiral. The system appears quiet." Kraz frowned. This wasn't what he had expected. Where was the mighty armada they had prepared to face? Suddenly, alarms blared across the ship. "Multiple contacts," shouted the sensor officer. They're everywhere." In the blink of an eye, Earth's hidden fleet had appeared, surrounding the Imperial Armada. Ships of sleek, unfamiliar design hung in space, their hulls shimmering with energy fields that defied Imperial sensors. On Earth, in the newly revealed Global Defense Headquarters, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Maria Gonzalez watched the situation unfold. She had trained for this moment her entire life. "Open a channel to the Imperial flagship," she ordered, her voice calm but firm. Admiral Kraz was startled when a human face appeared on his main view screen. "This is General Maria Gonzalez of Earth's Defense Force," she said. "You have entered restricted space. State your intentions." Kraz bristled at her tone. How dare this human speak to him as an equal? But he remembered his mission. "This is Admiral Kraz of the Galactic Empire," he replied. "We have come to discuss Earth's place in the galactic community." Maria's expression didn't change. "We're aware of the Empire, Admiral. We've been watching you for a long time. If you wish to talk, we're willing to listen. But know that any aggressive action will be met with immediate response." As if to emphasize her point, several of Earth's ships moved closer, their weapons systems visibly charging. Kraz felt a bead of sweat roll down his scaly back. This was not going according to plan. The Empire was used to dealing with primitive worlds, cowing them with displays of superior technology and overwhelming force. But Earth seemed unfazed by the massive Imperial fleet. "Perhaps," Kraz said carefully, "a face-to-face meeting would be appropriate to discuss terms." Maria nodded. "Agreed. We will send coordinates for a neutral meeting point. You may bring a small delegation. Choose wisely, Admiral." As the communication ended, Kraz turned to his officers. "Opinions?" he asked. Zix chittered nervously. "Their technology is impressive, but surely they can't match our numbers." Another officer, a blob-like being named Gloop, burbled in disagreement. "Numbers mean nothing if their weapons are as advanced as they seem. We should proceed with caution." Meanwhile, on Earth, Maria was having a similar discussion with her team. Dr. Amelia Chen, now in her 70s but still sharp as ever, spoke up. "We've prepared for this for decades, but war should always be a last resort." Dr. Kwesi Okoro nodded, his AI interfaces glowing softly around his head. "Our simulations give us a 68% chance of victory if it comes to battle. But the cost would be significant." Maria made her decision. "We'll meet them. Show strength, but leave room for diplomacy. Earth has hidden long enough. It's time we took our place in the galaxy." As both sides prepared for the meeting, tension hung heavy in the space between the two fleets. Imperial ships and Earth vessels circled each other warily, like predators sizing up unfamiliar prey. On a small, uninhabited moon of Jupiter, a temporary structure was quickly assembled for the historic first meeting. Security teams from both sides scanned every inch, each distrustful of the other. Admiral Kraz arrived with a small team of Imperial diplomats and guards. They were met by General Gonzalez, along with Dr. Chen, Dr. Okoro, and a contingent of Earth's finest soldiers. As the two leaders faced each other, the fate of two civilizations, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. The room was silent, the atmosphere charged with tension and the weight of history. Maria stepped forward, extending her hand in the human gesture of greeting. "Welcome to our solar system, Admiral," she said. Kraz stared at her hand for a moment, then slowly reached out one of his own scaly appendages. "Let us hope," he replied, "that this meeting leads to a mutually beneficial outcome." As their hands clasped, both leaders knew that nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same again. The negotiations on Jupiter's moon had lasted for days, but in the end, they failed. Neither side was willing to compromise enough. As Admiral Kraz stormed out of the meeting room, his face twisted with anger, General Maria Gonzalez knew that war was now inevitable. "Prepare all defenses," she ordered her team as they rushed back to their ship. "The Empire won't wait long to attack." She was right. As soon as the Imperial delegation returned to their fleet, Emperor Vexthor gave the order: crush them. Show no mercy. The space around Earth suddenly lit up as thousands of Imperial ships opened fire. Beams of energy and volleys of missiles streaked towards the planet and its defending fleet. But Earth was ready. A shimmering energy shield sprang to life around the planet, absorbing the initial barrage. Earth's ships, faster and more agile than anything the Empire had seen before, darted between the attackers, returning fire with pinpoint accuracy. Admiral Kraz watched in shock as the first wave of his attack was repelled with ease. "Impossible," he muttered. Then, louder. "Concentrate all fire on their largest ships. They can't be invincible." On Earth, in the underground command center, Dr. Amelia Chen monitored the battle through advanced holographic displays. "The shield is holding," she reported, "but we can't keep this up forever." General Gonzalez nodded grimly. "Activate the solar burn defense system," she ordered. Dr. Kwesi Okoro's fingers flew over his control panel. Solar burn online. Targeting Imperial capital ships. In space, massive arrays hidden in Earth's orbit came to life. They began to gather and focus the sun's energy, turning it into devastating beams of light that sliced through the Imperial fleet's largest vessels. Admiral Kraz watched in horror as 3 of his dreadnoughts were cut in half by beams of pure solar energy. "Fall back," he shouted. "Regroup and prepare for another assault." But the Empire's troubles were just beginning. From hidden bases on Mars and the Moon, Earth launched swarms of automated drones. These tiny, AI-controlled fighters zipped through the Imperial formation, causing chaos and confusion. "Our weapons can't target them," Zix reported, her insectoid features clicking in distress. "They're too small and too fast." Kraz slammed his fist on his command console. "Use the planet killer," he roared. "We'll destroy their world and be done with this." Deep within the Imperial flagship, a massive weapon began to power up. It was designed to crack planets open like eggs and had only been used once in the Empire's long history. But Earth's AI systems, led by Dr. Okoro's creations, had already predicted this move. As the planet killer prepared to fire, a small team of Earth's most elite soldiers, led by Captain Jake Steele, teleported directly into the heart of the Imperial flagship. "We're in," Jake reported, his voice calm despite the sounds of battle around him. Beginning Phase 2. While the main battle raged in space, Jake and his team fought their way through the Imperial ship's corridors. Their advanced armor and weapons, products of Earth's secret technological revolution, made them nearly unstoppable. Admiral Kraz was about to give the order to fire the planet killer when alarms blared throughout his ship. "Intruders in the main reactor," a panicked voice reported over the comm. "How did they get on board?" Kraz demanded, but there was no time for answers. In the reactor room, Jake planted the quantum disruptor, a device that would shut down the flagship's power systems. "Package delivered," he reported. "Time to go." Just as the planet killer was about to fire, the Imperial flagship went dark. The massive energy buildup had nowhere to go, and the ship began to tear itself apart from the inside. "All ships, retreat," Kraz ordered, realizing that the battle was lost. "Fall back to Rally Point Omega." As the Imperial fleet began to withdraw, leaving behind the wreckage of hundreds of their ships, the soldiers and citizens of Earth cheered. They had stood against the might of the Galactic Empire and emerged victorious. But General Gonzalez and her team knew this was only the beginning. The Empire would be back, and next time, they would be out for revenge. As the remnants of the Imperial fleet disappeared into hyperspace, Maria looked at the battle damage reports coming in. "Prepare our defenses," she said softly. "The real war has only just begun." In the days following the Empire's retreat, Earth buzzed with activity. The initial victory had boosted morale, but everyone knew the war was far from over. In the Global Defense Headquarters, General Maria Gonzalez pored over reports and strategy plans. "They'll be back," she said to her team. "And next time, they'll be ready for our tricks." Dr. Amelia Chen nodded, her eyes tired but determined. "Then we'll need to come up with new ones." Meanwhile, in the depths of Imperial space, Emperor Vexthor was furious. He paced in his throne room, all four of his arms clenched in anger. "How?" he roared. "How could one primitive world do this to us?" Admiral Kraz, still nursing wounds from the battle, stepped forward. "Your Majesty, we underestimated them. It won't happen again." The Emperor's red eyes narrowed. "No, it won't. Because this time, you will use every weapon, every ship, every soldier we have. Earth must fall." As the Empire gathered its forces for a massive counterattack, Earth was not idle. Dr. Kwesi Okoro's AI systems worked tirelessly, analyzing the battle data and predicting the Empire's next moves. "They're likely to attack multiple points simultaneously," Dr. Okoro reported, "trying to overwhelm our defenses." General Gonzalez nodded. "Then we'll need to be everywhere at once." This led to the activation of Project Nexus, a top-secret plan that had been in development for years. All around the world, hidden facilities hummed to life. Inside, thousands of humans connected to advanced neural interfaces. Captain Jake Steele, hero of the first battle, was one of the first to volunteer. As he lay in the neural pod, he felt his mind expanding, connecting with others. Suddenly, he wasn't just Jake anymore. He was part of something much bigger. Through Project Nexus, Earth's defenders could control multiple ships simultaneously, their combined consciousness allowing for coordination and reaction speeds that were impossible for the Empire to match. When the Imperial fleet returned, they found a very different Earth waiting for them. The planet's defenses seemed to anticipate their every move. Earth ships danced around Imperial vessels, striking with impossible precision. Admiral Kraz watched in disbelief as his carefully planned assault fell apart. "What is happening?" he demanded. On Earth, the linked minds of Project Nexus worked in perfect harmony. Jake, now part of this greater consciousness, guided a squadron of ships through the Imperial formation. They struck with surgical precision, disabling key vessels without destroying them. "Remember," General Gonzalez had said before the battle, "our goal isn't just to win. It's to show the galaxy a better way." As the battle raged, Earth unveiled more of its hidden weapons. Gravity wells suddenly appeared in space, trapping Imperial ships. Wormholes opened, teleporting Earth vessels across vast distances in the blink of an eye. But the Empire was not going down without a fight. They deployed their planet cracker bombs, terrible weapons designed to shatter worlds. But Earth was ready. Dr. Chen's team activated the planetary phase shift device. For a brief moment, the bombs passed harmlessly through Earth as if it wasn't there. When the planet reappeared, the bombs were gone, teleported into the sun. The tide of the battle had truly turned. Imperial ships were being disabled faster than they could be replaced. Earth's forces, guided by the collective intelligence of Project Nexus, seemed to be everywhere at once. Emperor Vexthor, watching the battle from his palace, couldn't believe his eyes. "Impossible," he muttered. Then, making a decision that would change the course of galactic history, he opened a channel to Earth. On the view screen, he saw General Gonzalez, her face calm but firm. "You've won," Vexthor said, his voice heavy with defeat. "Name your terms." Maria's response surprised him. "We don't want to conquer or destroy, Emperor. We want peace. Real peace for Earth and for every world in the galaxy." As the fighting slowly ceased, both sides wary and watching each other, a new era began to dawn. Earth had not just defended itself. It had shaken the very foundations of the Galactic Empire. In the neural link, Jake and the others felt a surge of hope. They had turned the tide of battle, but now came the hard part. Turning enemies into friends and reshaping the galaxy into a place of true cooperation and progress. The war was ending, but Earth's greatest challenge was just beginning. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with excitement and tension. Representatives from thousands of worlds, including many that had been under imperial rule for millennia, gathered to witness a historic moment. At the center of it all stood General Maria Gonzalez of Earth and Emperor Vexthor of the now former Galactic Empire. Today, Maria began, her voice carrying across the vast chamber. We start a new chapter in galactic history, not as conquerors or the conquered, but as equals. Emperor Vexthor, his blue skin a shade paler than usual, nodded in agreement. The Empire as we knew it is no more. In its place, we will build something better. Together. The Galactic Cooperative was born that day. Earth, with its advanced technology and philosophy of peace through strength, took a leading role. But they were careful not to simply replace the Empire's rule with their own. Dr. Amelia Chen, now hailed as one of the greatest scientific minds in the galaxy, led the effort to share Earth's technological advancements. Knowledge should lift us all up, she said as she unveiled plans for a galactic university system. Meanwhile, Dr. Kwesi Okoro's AI systems were repurposed to help solve problems across the galaxy, from predicting natural disasters to optimizing food production on struggling worlds. The AIs became a force for good. Captain Jake Steele, hero of the war, found a new purpose in peacetime. He led the newly formed Galactic Peace Corps, a group dedicated to helping worlds rebuild and grow. We're not here to tell anyone how to live, he told his teams. We're here to help them live better. But not everyone was happy with the new order. Pockets of imperial resistance remained, led by hardliners who couldn't accept the change. Admiral Kraz, once the Empire's most decorated officer, now led a rebel faction from the shadows. The Empire brought order to the galaxy, Kraz told his followers. These humans will bring only chaos and weakness. Earth and its allies were forced to remain vigilant. The Project Nexus technology, which had been so crucial in winning the war, was adapted for peacetime use. It allowed for rapid response to crises across the galaxy, coordinating aid efforts with unprecedented efficiency. As years passed, the galaxy began to change. Worlds that had been exploited under imperial rule began to flourish. New trade routes opened up, cultural exchanges blossomed, and scientific cooperation led to breakthroughs that benefited all. The former imperial capital of Zircon, once a symbol of oppression, was transformed into a center of learning and diplomacy. The crystal throne where Emperor Vexthor had once sat alone now stood in a grand council chamber, where representatives from all worlds could speak as equals. Earth, too, was transformed. No longer hidden, it became a hub of galactic culture and innovation. The once secret underground bases were opened as museums, telling the story of how a primitive world had changed the course of galactic history. But Earth's leaders never forgot the lessons of their long isolation. We must always be ready, General Gonzalez, now serving on the Galactic Council, often said. Not for war, but for any challenge the universe might bring. 20 years after the war, the galaxy gathered again to celebrate. The last imperial holdouts had finally laid down their arms, accepting the new reality. Admiral Kraz, old and tired, surrendered himself to galactic justice. As he was led away, Kraz looked at Maria and Jake, who had come to witness the moment. I still don't understand, he said. How did you do it? How did one world change everything? Maria smiled. It wasn't just one world, Admiral. It was an idea. That we're all stronger when we work together. That's something worth fighting for, and worth making peace for. As the celebrations began, fireworks lighting up skies across 1,000 worlds, the people of the galaxy looked to the future with hope. Earth had shown them a new way, a path of cooperation and progress. The story of how a hidden world had shaken an empire and reshaped the galaxy would be told for generations to come. But for those who had lived through it, like Maria, Jake, Amelia, and Kwesi, the greatest adventure was just beginning. In the vast tapestry of stars, Earth now shone brightly, not as a conqueror, but as a beacon of hope for a new and better future for all.